I'm usually asked that question by younger people. Older people come with their minds made up.
Pilots come in all shapes and sizes.
I tried to be taller.
Fiction.
No, you cannot do that.
Opinions don't count in flying, you understand? Okay, now I'll answer the question.
Hey, welcome to ClearProp. Today we're going to break format and have a little fun. You know how sometimes your tito or tita would tell you something about aviation that would discourage you from becoming a pilot? Well, fear not, because today we will confirm or debunk some of the preconceptions about flying. Sound simple enough? Let's go. So the rules are going to be really basic. We give a statement, and it's up to you to decide if it's aviation fact or fiction.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction. You can be a pilot.
Even if you don't have 20/20 vision.
I can't read it. So you can be a pilot even if you don't have 20/20 vision.
Look at me. As long as it can be corrected by by a lens, you can become a pilot.
I found out about the need to wear corrected lenses back in grade 10, and of course, me wanting to become a pilot, I've always approached it in a state of denial that, oh, if you're a pilot, you need to have clear vision. So I put off wearing glasses for quite a bit until, I started getting low marks in math. And then when I had my eyes checked, it said, oh yeah, you need near vision corrective lenses.
When I became a pilot, I was very clearly told that all I needed to have was 20/20 vision corrected. As long as I wore my glasses every time I flew and I had 20/20 vision with my glasses on, then I could become a pilot.
Color blindness or depth perception, fact or fiction? Do you need to be above that restriction? Absolutely. Color is very important to pilots, particularly red, because when you see something red, that's not good. And if you can't see the red, you won't be able to prevent what's about to happen. Are you required to have some degree of depth perception? Yes. It is important in being able to see the runway environment in very, very bad weather conditions. Astronauts wear glasses, diba?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? Pilots need to be tall to reach the controls. I guess that would be half faction. Because, some airlines, they require a certain height. Pilot had a height requirement. So, I didn't make it by half an inch. I mean, I knew that. So, the whole summer, while I was preparing after graduation, I tried to be taller. Seriously, kasi half an inch na lang, nakakainis. Pwede na mag-apply sa PALAB. So parang, okay, never mind.
Pilots come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are tall, some of them are small. As long as you can reach and manipulate the controls, you're fine. And in most airplanes today, you can adjust the rudder pedals, the yoke, the seats, and the seat belts to conform to your own height.
Well, you don't need to be tall. And also, you should not be very, very short. But airplanes now, they have provisions for the adjustment of the seat for pilots of different heights.
The Airbus 380 is the biggest aircraft ever built by any airliner. The way the aircraft itself was designed was that they call it a fully articulating seat. That means that it can go all the way up, all the way down, all the way forward, all the way left, and all the way right. And the standard that they used was a person of a 5'3" stature.
I had a female student. She was short. And then all the other instructors gave up on her. So they gave her to me. She was due for solo, so I flew with her, or one pattern. And then I tried to see what was wrong. And it turns out she was able to reach the controls, but she couldn't see the horizon. I was looking at her, I was doing this. Can't see anything. So we landed, I went to the back pockets, took out the life vest, made her sit on it. And then we flew the rest of the pattern really well. And then after a few flights, she was able to solo. So the height kind of matters. Also, when you're flying the bigger planes, when you're flying with me, you're gonna hear two things. I'm gonna remove my seatbelt. I mean my harness. You're gonna hear this because I have to raise my seat. I'm gonna reach something far.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? You don't need an aviation-related degree to be a pilot.
I'm usually asked that question by younger people, not by older people. Older people come with their minds made up. And my advice is, are you still going to school? Yes. Going to high school? Yes. Learn good English. Learn the other subjects well. Science subjects, social arts subjects, okay, all the subjects. So you are able to speak and express yourself properly, and you're able to speak to the other person, express yourself properly. And the judgment that I'll make, okay, when someone is able to get along with other people, is that he's able to communicate properly and communicate well. Flying is a never-ending communication between pilot and airplane. That's what it's all about.
Getting an aviation degree is not required to get a good aviation career. Most pilots started off with different college degrees, which is a requirement for some airlines. It doesn't matter if you take an engineering degree or a degree in psychology, so long as you have a degree. The college degree on the side is more of a fallback, just in case something happens, and at the same time increases perspective and overall knowledge.
If you like to fly, flying is your #1 priority, and let's say that's your plan A. In case you will never get into flying, the profession you had, the bachelor's degree you had, that's your plan B. And you must like it too.
My degree is in journalism. In fact, I would go as far as saying it's probably better if you got a non-aviation related degree. That way you have some fallback. An aviation career really is very volatile. At any given time, the whole thing can end. For example, you don't pass your aviation medical, that's it, end of career, see? Companies go down as quickly because it's a business, of course, and you might find yourself in between jobs. So it always helps to have a backup plan or backup career.
Yes, you don't need an aviation-related degree to be a pilot. You can take any 4-year degree that you want or any field that you'd like to take. Maybe even K-12 is fine. However, you would need to have a good hold of STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and of course math.
Do you need to be good in math to become a pilot? Let's just say you have to be proficient. Math is required whether you like it or not. I personally absolutely hate math. But the point is, what is more important to you? Do you want to become a pilot? For me, I wanted to become a pilot. I did the math. And just because I said I didn't like math, it doesn't mean I can't do it. Again, what are you willing to give up in order to achieve your goal? Kung sa akin, ano lang yan eh, minor distraction lang yan. Okay, may math yan, gagawin ko yan, so what? Diba? What math is for me is it requires logic to solve it. See? And you need that to be a pilot. I can't make decisions na hugot lang. Diba?
I took back Bachelor of Philosophy in college because I wanted to be a philosopher.
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? Small planes are not safe.
After I learned how to fly, an opportunity came for me to buy into an airplane. And to make a long story short, bumili ako ng Cessna 152. At the time that I bought it, mas mura pa siya sa kotse. When you're an aircraft owner, it's very different from just being a pilot. Sabi nga nila, pilots talk technique, aircraft owners talk maintenance. So we always talk about maintenance, we always talk about parts. Are small airplanes unsafe? When you think about it, I'm very happy with my career. I want to retire and die a very happy man and a very old man. And therefore, I want to take care of my airplane as well as anybody can take care of an airplane. My sons also ride in my airplane, so I take no chances. At the end of the day, you don't have to fly. If one of your instruments or one of your controls needs maintenance, then you just go home and watch TV while the maintenance people work on their airplane. You don't have to fly if your airplane is not ready. So are small airplanes unsafe? Here's my answer. There are no safe or unsafe airplanes. All airplanes are manufactured according to certified standards. There are no safe or unsafe airplanes. There are only safe or unsafe pilots.
The standards used for small airplanes is pretty much the same as the standards used for large airplanes. So general aviation airplanes and down to the gliders that you see flying out there are absolutely safe. I happen to fly one, so yes, it's absolutely safe.
Nowadays, aviation accidents are not technically related. Aviation aircraft design has come to the point where the aircraft themselves are very, very reliable. Normally, an accident is now caused by the human side, a human factors related thing.
There's only one dependable thing in an airplane: the pilot flying it.
Small airplanes are just as safe as large airplanes. It all depends on the pilot. Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Pilots don't need a parachute when flying.
There are two sides to that. If you're in the military, you're a fighter pilot, your ejection seat has a parachute. But if you are in the transport, you don't need a parachute. Also, of course, if you're in the airline, if you're flying a passenger, you don't have a parachute. Because if passengers see you there coming in with a parachute, they will never take that aircraft. They will never fly with you.
When I studied aerobatics, my aerobatic instructor taught me how to put on a parachute. Nagulat ako. Sabi ko, kailangan natin yan? Sabi niya, oh, kasi babaliktarin natin yung aeroplano. So this is a legal requirement. So he then made me follow his motions. Put your leg through this strap, buckle up this strap, put this one over your shoulders. And then he said, make sure your package is between the two straps under your legs. Otherwise, your voice will become soprano. So, nung ayos na ako doon, sabi niya sa akin, oh, handa ka na? Halika, board na tayo. Sabi ko, teka muna. Hindi mo ba akong tuturuan kung paano gamitin to? Sabi niya, bakit? Gagamitin mo ba yan? O ba't natin sinuot to? Eh kasi legal requirement, pero hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yan. Ibababa mo yung aeroplano kahit na anong mangyari, you will bring my airplane back to me. Okay? So that's how I learned, about wearing parachutes.
If you're flying upside down most of the time, then I guess you need one.
I would like to have a parachute, but just imagine this. What do you think I'd look like if I jumped out of an A330? Parachutes are always in the discussion somewhere. Why don't they issue parachutes and all that? Think about it, okay? You have a commercial airliner with a lot of passengers, and you're going to have them jump out of the airplane and parachute without training? What about the elderly, those with physical disabilities? How are you going to account for that with a parachute? At the very speed at which a modern airliner flies will already say, no, you cannot do that, even with training.
So those are just a few preconceptions that shouldn't stop you from fulfilling your dreams of flying. As with anything, Google is your friend. So the next time your tito or tita tells you something a little hard to believe, you just go on that search bar. So that's it for this episode and this season of ClearProp. We hope you enjoyed our episodes, and don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons below. We'll see you next season. Bye-bye.
I am not your stereotypical pilot. A lot of what I say are not meant to supersede anything official, so any memos, training bulletins given to you by chief pilots or the manufacturer or your mother-in-law, those are primary. Whatever I say is subordinate to that.